Hi there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, Jim Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. I upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon central, and sometimes I upload other videos like I am this week. This is the last day of Banned Books Week, and after this we will resume Spooky Books of October, something more lighthearted. We'll dive into horror after these books, but today we are discussing The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Let's get into it. So I read this book years ago, before it was a Hulu streaming series, starring Elizabeth Moss. I haven't watched any of the show. I didn't exactly care for the book. While I thought it was interesting that the things that she's depicting were derived from actual things that happened in history. She's doing something that I've heard Truman Capote has. I haven't read Truman Capote, but he took crimes that take place in one area and moved them into a WASP area and put it in a WASP's backyard, and terrified. That this is kind of that same ideal, that taking things that actually happened and expounding on them to the nth degree and then putting it in a WASP's backyard and making it... I'm not explaining this right. So this book is told first person. It's first person POV by a woman named Fred, which you can also read Offered, which I thought was an interesting narrative device, that she's considered a criminal for trying to escape to Canada with a forged passport with her husband and 5-year-old daughter. She's also considered being an adulterer for being married to a divorced man. Her marriage is forcibly dissolved. Her daughter is taken from her, and instead of being sentenced under the Republic of Gilead's draconian criminal justice system, she's accepted in training to become a handmaid, which is essentially incubational slave for this new society that took over what America once was after the assassination of the president. So women are classed in the society highest to lowest. I believe it's commanders' wives in blue, unmarried daughters, their unmarried daughters in white, handmaids in red, with the big white bonnets. You've probably seen them at political protests. Aunts, who are the ones who train the handmaids, in brown. Marthas, who are cooked, possibly sterile, or past their childbearing years, in, I think it's grieve. And Econo wives, which are the lower class of men's wives, who do everything that all of these other women do, are also in blue. And then widows are in black, I think. I think I have that right. Fred is sent to a commander. It's her third assignment as a handmaid. The book is told with flashbacks back to how things were before the system took over, the Sons of Jacob took over, to the way things are now. The handmaids are essentially raped to conceive children for these commanders. From Wikipedia, fitting with her statements that The Handmaid's Tale is a work of speculative fiction, not science fiction, Margaret Atwood's novel offers a satirical view of various social, political, and religious trends of early Puritanism in the United States. She was inspired by the Islamic Revolution that took place in Iran from 1978 to 1979, that saw theocracy established and drastically reduced the rights of women and imposed strict dress codes for Iranian women, very much like that of Gilead. She was largely inspired by early Puritans while at Harvard, where she attended on a Woodrow Wilson Fellowship. So Atwood's novels, especially her works of speculative fiction, such as The Handmaid's Tale and Oryx and Crake, are frequently offered as examples for the final open-ended question of the American Advanced Placement English Literature and Composition exam each year. The Handmaid's Tale is number 37 on the 100 most frequently challenged books of 1990 to 2000. In 2019, The Handmaid's Tale was still listed as the 7th most challenged book because of profanity, vulgarity, and sexual overtones. Atwood participated in discussing The Handmaid's Tale as a subject of a discussion series titled One Book, One Conference. In 2012, a 2012 challenge is required reading for Page High School in International Baccalaureate class as optional reading for advanced placement classes at Grimsley High School in Greensboro, North Carolina, because the book is sexually explicit, violently graphic, and morally corrupt. Some parents thought the book was detrimental to Christian values. In 2012, 2 parents protested against the inclusion of the book in the required reading list in Guilford County, North Carolina. The parents presented the school board with petitions signed by 2,300 people promoting review of the book. According to local news reports, one of the parents said she felt Christian students are bullied in society and that they're made to feel uncomfortable about their beliefs by non-believers. She said books like The Handmaid's Tale contributes to that discomfort because of its negative view on religion and its anti-biblical attitudes towards sex. In Goddard, Kansas, in 2021, the Goddard School District has removed more than 24 books from circulation in the school district's library, citing national attention to challenges of those books elsewhere. Having read the book, even though it depicts horrible things, it does not depict them in an overtly graphic way. It is written, I feel, with very simple language. It's very easy to understand. It's high concepts, simple language. It is usually a question on the AP Lit exam. So it should be taught as long as the AP Lit is doing that. Maybe instead of pulling the book from schools, you should pull your kids out of the AP Lit program if you disagree. Because essentially the AP program, a way to get college credit for high school classes. So in essence, it is a college class for high school students. While books like The Bluest Eye aren't typically part of AP Lit, books like The Handmaid's Tale, which take a much lighter view of such things, comparatively, are. The book has also won several awards. It won the Governor General's Award for English Literature Fiction, 1985, the year it was published. 1886, the Booker Prize, it was nominated. Nebula Award in 1986, it was nominated. LA Times Book Prize for Fiction, it won in 86. 87, Arthur C. Clarke Award winner, nominated for the Prometheus Award in 87. Commonwealth Writers Book Prize, Best Book winner of the Canada and Caribbean region. This book was interesting. It was very informative. It was interesting to pick apart the things. I would love to read this book in a class, honestly, to pick apart her inspirations, because the author has been very vocal about what she based various aspects of the book on. To pick this book apart and find where things are based. Politics aside, I think this book, though speculative fiction, is an interesting read. I've heard criticism that, oh, no woman would put up with that. Well, historically, they have put up with very similar things, such as the treatment of the forced sterilization and being sent off to live with men forcibly by Native Americans, both in the U.S. and Canada. The forced sterilization of minorities, and like that part is very much rooted in history. The puritanical values and the reverence and reverement of the family unit, and the fact that women are only good enough for pumping out babies is something that not unheard of in religious circles, which is interesting that it's viewed as anti-Christian, because that's something that I hear a lot in the more extremist centers of Christian rhetoric. The taking away and dissolving marriages happened to enslaved people in the United States. It happened to African Americans. That the marriages that they formed were dissolved and their children taken away while they were... That happened. So while it is speculative fiction, she's taking and borrowing things from history and putting them in a not too distant future and saying this could happen again. This could happen, but to the nth degree. And I think that is what makes this book worth reading. I think I rated this book 3 stars when I read it. I don't remember when I rated it exactly, but I remember reading it and thinking, okay, and like got along with the book. I didn't love it. I don't feel the need to reread it, but I do remember reading it and enjoy is the wrong word, but appreciating the book as I read it. So, have you read The Handmaid's Tale? What did you think of it? What did you think of this year's banned books that we discussed? Do you have a favorite banned book? Do you believe in banning books? I'd love to hear an argument, because we all know where I stand, and that's that books shouldn't be banned, because that enacts the Streisand effect and makes books more popular than they would have been otherwise. So let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!